What's up, guys? Down here at Bowling Green, Kentucky, Beach Bend Raceway for LS Fest. First time we've ever been out here. There's a lot of stuff, and we're parked out in a super crappy area. Hopefully it's not too rough to get the car out with the front end on, but that'll be done. But out here set up, and weather's not so bad. It's a little humid right now. It was pretty cool when we first came in a few hours ago, but it's still not bad. Today's Thursday, so we're just getting set up. Tomorrow we'll be, testing, qualifying, however it works. And they kind of call us up by classes, so we just gotta listen up, and we'll get some data on everything and start seeing how this old pig's gonna do. Nothing different from the Shady side. This thing is set in the trailer for a week straight, or almost a week, since last Saturday night. So maybe not a week, but it hasn't came out of the trailer. So I was like, man, if this thing doesn't break, and a Shady side, it's staying in the trailer. So that's where it's been, but moved it out earlier, went through tech, got all checked in, all that good stuff, and now we are here. So got a few things to go over, and we're gonna just kind of relax tonight. Oh yeah, and make sure you go on BrianTooleyRacing.com and buy this shirt. It should be released soon. As slow as I am at putting out videos, it should be out well before I actually get the video up. What's up, guys? Day number 1 here, full day I should say. We got one hit earlier, did a 114/60 foot, and about 1.8 into the run, it just knocked tires off. A couple guys before me, I saw them go, and you could tell as they got out there, the track got a little sketchy. Tried to get back into it, just knocked tires off again, so I went a 550 at 100. So, whatever, not fast, but we got a little data on that. We just made some major suspension changes because we don't expect the track to be a whole lot better this second round. And we're going to try some stuff because that's how you figure things out. So that's what we're going to do. The car is basically ready for the next round. We're just hanging out, and hopefully we can get down on this one and get some good data. Alright guys, update. I ran a few hours ago. The first pass we spun, tires shook pretty bad. Well, apparently that rattled the trans brake relay out. I went to back up at the burnout, and I was like, it won't back up, of course. They pushed me back, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, maybe I'll get lucky and put it in forward gears and it'll work, which doesn't make any sense, but just hoping. Still wouldn't work, so whatever, just kind of drove through. As I was driving on the track, I was like, I bet on the last pass it shook the relay out. And the trans brake relay is the only one that's not zip tied in. So I got back and I found the relay in the door. So now it's zip tied in. It can't shake out. Super annoyed by it. I was very mad. Just the little dumb stuff like that. It'll make you mad, but it is what it is. Been waiting around ever since. Should be running our last pass of the day soon. And hopefully we'll get down the track. Same tune-ups in it from earlier. Air's good, but the hopefully not too much. Hopefully the track doesn't have dew on it. And yes, that's what I'm really concerned about right now.
You can see the car is getting wet. So if the car is getting wet, the track is getting wet. So we'll see.
What's up, guys? Race day number 2 here at LS Fest. Last night, last pass, we didn't run till I want to say 10:30, and the track was very dewy. The air was. I had a I had a soft tune in there. I think honestly it would work better the second round. I think the track was just not there the third round. The person beside me, they drug the bumper, but it's a little easier to drag the bumper in a mid to high 5-second car than it is in this thing. I actually set the traction control up and I rolled out. I'm sorry, I can't get away from the sun. I rolled out. I felt it start cutting a little bit, so I got out of it and got back into it, and it started shaking real bad. So, of course, very annoyed because I can't get on the track. Trying to figure some things out, but I slept it off and I'm good now. What we're going to do this morning is I actually went back to a really slow tune from Shadyside the other day, and I'm gonna try this a little more air pressure, see if it helps with the shake. But this right here, just to see if we can get down the track. And I know we can. You just gotta figure it out. But I didn't really intend to drive 7-8 hours no prep race. But in the end, it is what it is. We're all on the same surface, so just don't have a lot of time on these kind of surfaces with this car. So it's a little bit harder. It takes time to figure out, but we'll get there or we won't. That being said, we're going up here in I guess the next hour and a half for first round and qualifying. I guess yesterday was testing, if I understand how it works here, and we're going to see what we can do. So hope we can get down the track. What's up, guys? Update from the first round of qualifying today. Put a pretty soft tune-up in it, like I mentioned earlier. Same tune-up with 490s at Shadyside, just a little bit hotter after 3 seconds. And it did almost an identical 60-foot. And it's funny, like, I knew it had more power ramped in, and of course I'm wondering how the track is going to handle it. So you're just sitting there waiting, and you got all this time. And then which doesn't sound like a lot, but about 3 seconds I start hearing the turbo get a little bit louder as it's increasing boost. And right when it crept up from like 24 pounds to 32, it started to make a little move, not much at all, but as sketchy as this track has been, I was like, man, normally where I would stay in it, I just got out of it. So I got out of it like 3.7 on the dot, and it went a 5.0 flat, like 122. So good. I think if I wouldn't turn the boost up, I probably would have been okay. But what I'm going to try on this next one is I'm going to put more boost in it sooner. That way we don't hopefully upset the car, and just see what it does. And then that'll be our last qualifying run. I guess we don't have eliminations tonight. I wish we had at least one round because it's Saturday. And I guess I'll be tomorrow. And then we got a long drive back home. But that's what I guess the sacrifices you make for racing, right? So I'll be tired Monday, but at least I've marked this off the bucket list. So I'm gonna kill a few more hours waiting for us to go up there again, and hopefully it'll be a decent pass. Alright, so you saw we made it down. Went a 489 at 154, still way soft. The traction control actually saved it on the hit there. It tried to spin, it was less than a tenth in, probably half of a tenth. It tried to spin, the traction control caught it till about a quarter of a second, and then the rest of the track we were good. But terrible 60 foot, 132, terrible 330, but made it down. Which this track is what it's going to be about, is who can get down when we got some data. So I'm going to ride up here shortly and see who we have tomorrow for first round, and we're going to make some changes to the car. Talk to John, have a little idea on suspension stuff we're going to try to get some more power in it sooner, and see if it will hopefully stay planted. But going to bed tonight, not near as annoyed as last night, even though the car is way off from usual, but also didn't come here expecting to run personal best either. But that's what I got. So let's just see how it goes tomorrow, first round.
So update, we're just doing some maintenance on the car. We're gonna change the oil, drain the catch can, fill the fuel up, changing plugs. Getting ready for tomorrow. Eliminations in the stock block class.
So I'm going to give you guys a recap and just edit in how it went. Sunday morning, we woke up, we knew it was Eliminations Day. First round, I believe they started calling drag race up about 9 o'clock, and we were the 4th class. So I want to say our first hit was at 11:20. So there were 4 guys that had buys. Only one was supposed to, but the one that was supposed to, actually, number 1 qualifier with a 470, he had broke the rear end and the drive shaft in the no time class, so he could not make it. So there were 3 of us that had buys because our opponents didn't show up. And we got down the track, got some data. It was like a 470 something, and I can't remember now, but you'll see it in the video. So here we come up on round 2. I didn't know how fast I was turning this around, and then I learned. We were working on the car, going over stuff, trying to talk to John about suspension because we had a little bit of service actually. And next thing you know, the track guy comes up, which I am thankful they had a track guy coming around because couldn't hear the radio, couldn't hear the announcers. And he was like, hey, I called you guys up. I'm like, holy crap, So we had just taken the trunk off to make the shock canister change to the CO2 in the shocks, and I was like, screw it, put it back on there. Just adjusted the lower side of the shocks, and we finished it and got it back together. As we're pushing up there, I'm like, man, we didn't put fuel in the car, but I knew that it wasn't going to run out. But still, though, it's part of the routine to put fuel in the car, so it's like, man, now you're thinking about it. But I get up there, and somebody ends up having I think an oil down of some sort, so it takes a little while longer than expected to get to make the hit. The guy we had ran a 512 the run before, and we had one of 470 something. I had certainly sped the tune up a little bit up, but I don't get cocky because anything can happen in drag racing. I can get there and knock tires off. I had the traction control on still. Well, on that run, the traction control was pretty violent. I was like, man, this thing must have been really, really close to the dots. And I think really what it was, I'm sorry, brain dead. I know what it was the sensor was starting to flake out. So, rode the traction control pretty violent, and I stayed in it, and it went a 467 and 160, I think. So we got the win and went on to round 3. round 3 was a matchup, I was honestly worried about because it was against Capizzi, and my car looks like his or his looks like mine. His was white first, so you can definitely say mine looks like his. But I was worried about that because he had done well at getting down the track, and I'd seen him go, 450 earlier, I think on Friday. I think, Friday, yeah. So I knew that he had a good shot, and I was like, man, so I put a pretty spicy tune-up in it. Wasn't trying to go 106s, but just put it a lot harder than it had. Tried to ramp in a bunch of boost at a 1.4, and from that point, we're going to see what happens. And we get up there and make the run, and it ends up being a super tight race. I believe Andrew said it calculated out to like 18 thousandths margin of victory for us, 450 to 454, and you got to factor in reaction time. Went 164 mile an hour. Super stoked to get the win. Capizzi is a great dude, and he really is super nice. And it's just in drag racing, people that you like, you don't want them to lose, but whenever you race somebody, for that brief period, it's about you and getting the win. So we got the win, and I knew then, I was like, I'm going to back it up a little bit. I'm going to put the previous tune that had won a 467 on the traction control back in. But I discovered after Capizzi that my drive shaft sensor had died. So I knew at that point I no longer had the traction control in my back pocket just in case it spun and overshot the drive shaft curve. So I was like, let's put this 460 tune back in and see what it does. So 4th round, we had James Tall, one of Cletus's guys. He'd been consistent all week running 5.0s. Car works every time, and I was like, I'm just gonna make sure I don't red light, and just hopefully the car goes down. Because Sunday the track prep was certainly better. Still wasn't like primo, but it was better and it was okay. It was what it was. Honestly, if I would have known it was gonna kind of get better like it was, and Capizzi was the same in the previous round, we both would have thrown more power at it without a doubt. But anyways, so I load the tune in it because I feel like I should be okay. Get up there, do the burnout, car does its thing, and the tune that had went 67 earlier, this time since it wasn't beating off the traction control, actually went a 54 at 161, I think. So that was a pleasant surprise. James went a 490. So we got the win there, and at that point, we are on to the finals.
Got it on the tree.
They had tried to tell us before the finals, like, hey, after this run, you need to come right back. I'm like, I can't do that. It's just, I have to put fuel in the car. I need time. And thankfully, the guy running the staging lanes, he was like, man, don't worry about it. People are adults here. We're not going to do that to you. And our opponent, too, was like, same thing. He's like, I need to cool my car down. And or actually, it was his truck, it's S10. He's like, so, we want a good race again. We'll keep the parts inside. So that was cool. We ended up getting like 30 minutes, I believe, after the pass, so probably 25 minutes cool down time to get the car cooled down, which seems like a lot, but the transmission definitely was had some. You could smell it. But we get up there for the finals. We go crank him up, pull to the water box, and his truck won't start. And they're like, they're asking me like, hey, do you want to wait? I'm like, yeah, definitely. I'm like, I don't want to be like that. We're cool people. Let's make, I'll wait, whatever. And of course, it's uncomfortable. You're strapped in, you're in the heat. It's, 80 something degrees, probably the warmest day of the event. And, and of course it makes the anxiety build too, but I wasn't gonna rush them. I heard them say that they're giving them 3 minutes. And then next thing you know, they get fired. What happened is they have a cam-driven fuel pump, and the collar came loose, so it wasn't turning the pump. But thankfully they got it fired up, and they come around, so we're able to make a pass together. They end up going a 470 flat. I left the exact same tune-up in it. I won a 456. This car, the 60 foot was a little off. I think the track was probably just a little greasy, but I won 163 mile an hour. So we got the win. And it's really hard to explain the feeling. I guess like all that emotion that comes out, because you make your hit and you get the win. It's like second win in a row. And the one was cool last weekend because we're at Shayside at a home track. But to do it, I guess on a bigger scale and racing people from different parts of the country and stuff like that. It was really. I'm sorry, I gotta fix this. I didn't know that this was even an option. Okay, but it was really. It was cool, and also got a bunch of pressure. Like, cool, we got the win. First time ever going to LS Fest, and we get a win like that. Not to mention, you throw in the fact that Friday I was like so defeated and mad. I was annoyed, and I wanted to quit. But and now you get into the cliche story of this is why you don't quit. Toughed it out. We adapted. I learned a whole lot, and we ended up getting the victory. So it was cool. But then after that, it's like, all right, now we've got an hour of loading up at least, and then we got to make this. Roughly, it calls for 6.5, but with stops and stuff, you're looking at a 7-8 hour drive easy. So we end up having to, drive home. And sorry, once again, I'm frazzled, guys. You gotta understand. Like, we got to the shop at 2:30 in the morning, dropped the trailer, and I don't think I got in bed after. I don't think I fell asleep till close to 4 o'clock, and then I got up at 7 because you got to work on Monday. We, in the end, it was worth it. It was cool. We were super appreciative of working with companies like Brian Tooley Racing and the other guys. 2JM Fab, Fuel Tech, Fuel Injector Clinic, Ultimate Converter Concepts, Titanium Dynamics, Rally at Racing. It's cool to work with those people. And it doesn't mean we've got a bunch of free stuff. But just if you get free shipping, that helps. It all helps. When you're when you're a mortal human and you don't have unlimited dollars. But to help represent all those companies, and Brian Tooley had sponsored the stop block class, so that made it even better because the car that they have helped with wins the class, and we push their stuff hard. I do my best to sell their products. And we use their stuff basically exclusively if we provide it. So it was a cool event overall. It was once again it was total 180 it was total 180 basically of how I felt Friday. We and once again turning the car around, just Andrew and I. It's hard to turn around a car like that with just 2 people, but we had a relatively decent routine. And we made it work, and that's what matters in the end. But now here at the end of the day at the shop, I'm going to get the car up on the Pro Jacks, and I'm going to just do a compression check, and then we got some changes we're going to make Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.